Seven o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Rissy.
Here.
Trustee Nordhook.
Here.
Supervisor Lesbrunts.
Here.
Treasurer Corstange.
Here.
Trustee Norddyke.
Present.
Trustee Shipley.
Present and accounted for.
And Clerk Slater present.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion or discussion for approval of tonight's agenda?
Shipley makes a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support. It's a motion by Trustee Shipley, supported by Treasurer Corstange to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Article 4, approval of minutes, specifically the board minutes from the previous meeting on April 22nd. Is there discussion or a motion?
Move to approve. Support.
It's a motion by Trustee Rizzi, supported by Trustee Shipley to approve those board minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Having no presentations this evening, now is the time for public comments on anything scheduled for tonight's agenda. We have a pretty light agenda, but the two items would include Costco's proposed expansion of its fuel facility and also a purchasing policy. Anyone wishing to comment on those two, please step forward, state your name, address for record keeping, and limit your time to 3 minutes. Is there anyone virtually?
There is not.
Okay. Having no public comments, now is the time for the consent agenda. Is there a motion or discussion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's a motion by Trustee Shipley, supported by Clerk Slater to approve tonight's consent agenda. All in
Excuse me, can I ask one question? The minutes for the Planning Commission, aren't those the same minutes we approved in the last consent agenda at the last meeting? Were they changed?
They were not changed. I don't know. I looked at them again, but I don't remember seeing the same ones the last time. I think they were in the packet the last time because of the waterfall shops piece. So maybe that's the part that you saw because that was discussed at that meeting. So they would have put them in that section of the packet, not so much the
Got it.
consent.
That makes sense. Thank you. I was like, I know I've read this
Yeah.
before.
That's why, because
Okay.
they were under the waterfall shop.
Thank you for clarifying.
Is that right, Sue? Okay.
Did we have a motion a second? I can't remember.
Yes.
So Trustee Shipley, seconded by Clerk Slater to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Article 8, financial actions, specifically the invoices scheduled tomorrow on May 14th. Is there a motion or discussion?
Make a motion to approve financial actions.
Support.
It's a motion by Treasurer Corstange, supported by Trustee Shipley to approve tonight's financial actions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Article 9, unfinished business. That would be consider approval of resolution 022-2026. And this would be the possible amendment of ordinance number 8/2004 to expand the existing Costco fuel facility. Manager Smith?
Thank you, Supervisor. Sorry. Thank you, Supervisor. This is the adoption of the PUD amendment, PUD 76, which is the Waterfall Shops planned unit development. This was introduced at April 22nd meeting. I did not have anyone from planning attend tonight. There weren't very many questions at the last meeting, so I didn't think it was appropriate to have them come this evening. But the expansion or the amendment includes the expansion of the existing Costco fuel facility and the approval of the proposed plans to replace the 4 signs on the canopy. So if there's any questions, I can do my best to answer them. And then also we have representatives from Costco here tonight as well.
I do have a question. Sorry. And after this coming through the Planning Commission and to us before, I don't know why this just came to me over the weekend in my mind. Just questions on the size of the signage that's going to go back on. It will not be larger than the current signage that's on there, will it? Mhm. Okay, is it green? Oh,
Oh.
turn it green.
Now it's green.
Thank you.
Hi, Larry Jurczyk with Costco. How are you? They will be the same size.
Okay,
They will be the same size.
okay. That was my only question, just because there was no clarifying information anywhere, just to make sure that we weren't approving signage and then having it be 5 times as large or anything.
It
like
will
that.
not be.
Good question.
Anybody else?
I feel like we should be drilling you with questions since we have you here in person, but
You clearly did a thorough job,
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank
as
you.
well as our staff.
And we're all excited for shorter lines probably to it.
Yes.
as
Yeah,
needed.
I'm happy to answer any questions. We're very excited. We're doubling the amount of pumps here at this location. It's going to help tremendously with congestion and traffic. So we're looking forward to getting started. Thank you.
Mhm.
When is the estimated start date to be approved?
We are working on permit plans now. We are looking probably, well, there's two thoughts on this. It could happen later in the fall, or it could start 2027. More than likely, it may be a spring of 2027 start. We're hoping earlier, but at the latest, it would be next year.
Great.
I couldn't get in there today.
You could not.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a problem. That is a problem. Because it's not only happening to you, to other members, and we'd like to stop that. So,
I've heard from 3 people since our last meeting that are looking forward to having the better flow of traffic back in there due to everybody who wants to utilize your current facilities. And with that comments from our residents, I make a motion that we approve resolution 022-2026.
Support.
It's a motion by trustee Shipley, supported by treasurer Corstange, to approve the ordinance amendment number 8 of 022-2026 as presented. Clerk Slater, please call the roll.
Trustee Shipley,
Yes.
trustee Norddyke,
Yes.
treasurer Corstange,
Yes.
trustee Nordhook,
Yes.
trustee Rissy,
Yes.
clerk Slater, yes, supervisor Les Brents.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you for coming tonight in person.
oh, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Article 10, new business, consider approval of the accounts payable policy. We've got Manager Smith and also Finance Director Nincherini here tonight. Thank you both. Whoever wants to kick us
Lorna.
off.
Lorna can take it.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor, Board, Jade. Before you is an action. We're looking for board approval of an official accounts payable policy. We did have pieces of a policy that was stitched into another policy and another policy, and it was messy and difficult to administer. Our new policy is very straightforward. It defines the items that will make up a proper payment list, which is already in your board packet that we are memorializing the format we use now. It clarifies what invoices the board is responsible for reviewing and others that aren't. In the list of payables that the board does not review is going to be employee payroll, payroll taxes withheld, taxes that are under the treasurer's span of supervision, property taxes to disperse. And yep, I think I hit them all. There is an exception list. Right now, in state law is written that the board shall approve claims, an invoice, a claim against township resources prior to the payment being made. With this board policy, we will now have a standing document, a policy document that will allow finance and accounts payable to make certain payments prior to board approval. Most of those are in item section B. Employee benefit payments, utility payments, payments to the credit card providers, payments to bond obligation paying agents, and revenue sharing payments that are driven by the building inspection services. These are payments back to the 7 units that participate in our service. Also, another exception is when the interval between board meetings is more than the typical 2 weeks, we struggle to make payments on time. And this policy would allow us to make those payments. And all of these early payments will come back to the board at the next possible meeting for board approval. This policy is in no way looking to usurp the board's authority. Really, it's looking to maintain good vendor relations and avoid late fees. So I'll stop prattling and look to the board.
I have a question. First of all, this kind of came up with the last meeting that, we needed to make those payments because we didn't have a board meeting to approve it. But it sounds like where we're going, we're actually going to have greater transparency in money coming in and out and timely payments to our debtors. Is that correct?
I would have to think about how this policy would make our process more transparent
Okay.
because everything is coming to the board and I'm a stickler on that.
Well-
And not saying that the rest of the township staff isn't either, just this is the process I control. But in terms of vendor relations, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. If we issue the board packet, the list in the board packet on a Friday, and we receive an invoice from a vendor the following Monday, that vendor will have to wait 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
before we have any way to pay it. Now, if there's no late fee attached, that's going to happen. And most of our vendors are on a 30-day pay, so we won't be late. But if we're looking at a credit card or utility payments, they are right waiting to assess late fees.
Thank you.
I think the transparency piece comes in that we have a policy that actually defines what we're paying and it's official and been
you.
approved by this body so that we actually have a policy that clearly states what our actions should be. So if a meeting gets canceled or a meeting, like when we approve the meeting schedule at the beginning of the year, or like Lorna said, there's late fees that could be assessed or something that's timely, at least we have a policy that the staff can look at as guidance and the board can know that there's policy in place that they'll be coming back. So in a roundabout way, I could see how this is more transparent, although it just really does create operational efficiencies and then obviously better relations with the vendors.
And that's where I was
Great
trying to go to.
Great answer.
So do you know approximately how much we spend a year on late fees?
Do we want to know?
It's not much,
It's not much.
but I
when
don't
you
know the
see
dollar.
It's
them-
not much.
I will say, since you two have come on board, it has been a lot less because we have been making the approval, the meeting before when we don't have a meeting in between to to allow you to approve invoices. But I do know before that we had quite a bit of late fees prior to that happening. So I think this will minimize them even more. And then did we have a policy similar to this previously? You mentioned patchwork policies. But
We had a policy that had a long list of invoice types that would be exempt from board action. And that was just a little
Yeah, and the
different.
list actually exempted them, so they never even actually came to the board. So there wasn't even a follow-up report that would say these were paid, and then, board, please approve these. We took this action based upon a policy. These items were just exempted and never presented to the board, from the best of our knowledge.
And then I know before I got on the board as well, I think that the manager was just approving them before they would even come to the board.
That is correct.
They were being paid before they got.
Yeah, they would be paid. That's what I
We'd
just said.
approve them
The
months
manager
after
would
they were
approve
paid.
them and they would come to the board once a month, I think. Not even every board meeting. It was once a month they were coming for board
We put a stop
approval,
to
which
that.
they were already done. Yeah. I know it stopped right after I got on the board.
No, this policy does a really good, one, it's really straightforward, it makes sense, but then I appreciate how you guys, struck the balance between honoring the board's authority to approve the financials, but at the same time, we can still, it doesn't affect business running smoothly, so it's easy to understand. I thank you for doing it.
Very good, thank you.
I have a question. So basically what this means is that you don't have to come to us every time there's a 5 Wednesday month or a December and say, can you approve this, right?
Correct. One of my fears is that I will I will not notice that there's a 3-week or a 5-week
Right.
gap coming up, and then I'm stuck.
So in the financial statement that you present to us for Perry Bowles at the next meeting, will those be delineated which ones were paid, or is it just all part of the next statement?
They will. I'm envisioning a final column on the right that will have a check number. And if it says none, it has not been paid yet. And if there's a check number, it has.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good work, team.
I guess that would call for approval for the policy change. And with that, I make a motion that we approve the accounts payable policy change as explained and presented.
It's a motion by trustee Shipley, supported by trustee Rizzi to approve the accounts payable policy as it was presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Having no discussion items, now is the time for public comments on anything, whether it's on the agenda or not. Again, please limit your time to 3 minutes for the fairness of everybody, and also state your name and address for record keeping. Welcome.
Hello. It's green, so we should be good. I don't know if you guys can answer this, but I was reading that one of the last, Elizabeth Cram, 3410 Winterberry Court. There was a bear sighting in our township, so if you guys can, I'd like to know approximately where, how big it was, and if there's been any others, but I don't know if you can answer that, so thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Scott Vince Holcomb again. Good evening. With the recent adoption of the new zoning ordinance and the upcoming referendum in August, it is important to address the claims that have been circulated to residents. Over the next several meetings, I'll be offering rebuttals to a number of the points raised in the recent email sent to residents by trustees Nordike, Nordhoek, and Rissy. Because several of those claims were not just misleading, they were egregiously incomplete and stripped of critical context. I also want to note that I already addressed the accessory building issue during the Planning Commission meeting on May 4th, so that concern is not new and it should not be presented as though it went unanswered. Tonight, I want to speak specifically to how private roads are being framed, because the email sent by the 3 trustees was misleading in how it presented this issue. They pointed to neighborhoods like Oliver Woods, Manchester Hills, Watermark, Cascade Lakes, and Sturbridge as examples of successful development with private roads. That is true, but it is only half the story. What they failed to mention is that there are just as many successful neighborhoods in Cascade without private roads. Hidden Hills, Caraval Village, Whispering Ridge, the Hillsborough area, and Beard Farm. These are strong, desirable communities built to county standards, and they prove that public roads are not only viable, but often preferable for homeowners. Many of the private road developments they referenced are planned unit developments with access to city water and the supporting infrastructure. That is not the same as the rural areas where additional private roads would be proposed. In those rural areas, we rely on well water. And in a township already dealing with PFAS contamination in groundwater, Expanding denser development under those conditions is not something we should take lightly. There is also a clear financial reality here. Public roads mean maintenance, and snow removal are handled by the county and township. Private roads shift that burden directly onto homeowners through HOA dues, long-term repair funds, and the real possibility of special assessments. Maracaibo Shores proves this point. It was originally a private road development, and residents chose to pay an assessment to convert those roads to public. People do not do that unless the private model becomes a liability. And as someone who lives on a private road, I'll say it plainly. I would have paid more for my property to avoid the ongoing costs and uncertainty that comes with it. That directly affects affordability and resale value. If developers were being honest about this, they would market public roads as an advantage. No private road obligations, no HOA fees tied to infrastructure, and no unexpected future costs. We also need to talk about why this issue is being pushed so aggressively. The Grand Rapids Association of Realtors spent over $100,000 to get this referendum on the ballot. That is not a grassroots effort. That is a coordinated investment. Why spend that kind of money unless there's something significant to gain financially? At the end of the day, residents do not get to walk away from these decisions. Developers do. So we should be making choices that protect the people who have to live with the long-term costs, not the ones who profit upfront and move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Josh Jordan, Whispering Timbers. So I didn't get that email. That would have been something helpful to have. So I'll make a suggestion just to take it as it will. How about we have a series of open houses where we have, just like the open house we had leading up to it, the for people and the against people. So a citizen like me can come up and talk to Trustee Nordhook or Trustee Rizzi on the against side, meet some of the folks in my community that are against it. And then I can go over and talk to Trustee Shipley and say, okay, why are you for it? Hey, these guys said this. What's your rebuttal to that? I can educate myself. Sending a postcard is going to cost our township money, and people are going to throw it away. And it sounds like the opposition's well financed, and it's your guys' duty to make sure we as citizens have all the information we can get. And you need to help us because that's why you're here, for us, the citizen. So take that for you will. I would gladly pay my taxpayer dollars to have that forum set up so that I could get more educated on an issue that I walked into when I just wanted to talk about those pesky deer. And if you see the bear, call me. I'll come help you out. I'll get that bear for you, free of charge. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone virtually, their hand up? Manager comments?
Thank you, Supervisor. Just real quick, I'll address the bear situation. The bear was located at Spalding and Hall Street up in that area. I'm not sure of the size, but we have not heard any more reported sightings since then. There were a couple that week. We did talk to the DNR and they are aware of the bear in the area. And I think this is actually becoming an issue across the state because I don't know if you guys followed the news today, but there was actually one down in Metro Detroit area, downriver. And it's a little bit bigger news down there than it is over here. Let me just tell you that. But so this is not uncommon, but we do have guidelines if you do encounter a bear on our website. It was on and obviously you just want to avoid the bear. Tomorrow night is our first concert at Friendship Park, 7:00. Folk music. So the weather is supposed to make a turn over tonight. So I encourage everybody to come out tomorrow night. Should be a good time. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Board comments, Trustee Shipley?
Thanks. I always stand up anyways. Thanks for coming, folks. Nice to see some of you back here. I look forward to a bear. I feed the birds, but unfortunately, I'm using the wrong bird food. Please bring your neighbors back. There's a lot of things going on, as we talked about with zoning and financing. So I have no idea why the Thornapple River has been going up and down on a daily basis for the past week and a half. Something to do with what they're doing down in Ada because they control the level from that end. And we're talking about the lower Thornapple River between us and Ada. So I'm still trying to pursue what's happening with that because I'm getting tired of looking at the mud and the rocks on the bottom of the river.
Trustee Nordyke.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I wanted to recognize Manager Smith and Eric. Thank you for joining me at the Thornapple River Association last week. It was informative to those who live on the river, and I appreciate your willingness to come and do it after hours. So thank you. And then also, I want to thank Eric, somebody who lives in the Berger Goodwood Plat. He has, I've watched him communicating with our residents. We have both road work being done and MetroNet tearing up lawns, and he has done a great job communicating with the residents and holding MetroNet accountable. So thank you for that.
Trustee Rizzi.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And Trustee Shipley, they are doing the annual spring drawdown of the Ada Dam right now. And that's why the water level is fluctuating. And hopefully, if all goes to plan, their water will be back up by Friday night.
Cool. Okay.
Trustee Nordyke.
Don't feed our local bear.
Clerk Slater.
I want to say happy birthday to Trustee Rissi. Apparently it's his birthday and he gave us all a gift.
Oh, it's the opposite, but thank you. Happy birthday. Clerk, or excuse me, Treasurer Corsange.
I think I have two things. One about the bear. There was a Fox 17 news article that had some footage of the bear. So if you want to look at it and see for yourself how big you think it might be compared to somebody's deck that they showed, you can watch that. It was right on Fox 17. Okay. And then the other thing was about the open houses. I think there has been some discussion, just knowing that there is a special interest that has put so much money into some misinformation that I do think that, I know I had mentioned to Jade that we should do the open houses again, just because we did have a good turnout those last ones, from a lot of residents that didn't understand or had heard certain things, just to clarify for them. So I do think that we will be having some. It's just getting those organized. They'll probably actually be, though, not what you're requesting, where the trustees and the board members are there talking. It'll be consultants from McKenna that are giving factual information, would be my guess. This is how we do them, just like the ones that were done in the fall. And I'm sad I can't go to the concert tomorrow, but FHC graduates tomorrow night, so.
Oh. I just want to say thank you to, we had around the same time that special interests or certain people affiliated with the real estate industry spent about $115,000, 100 of which for signature to pay signature gatherers, marketing, almost over $9,000 in marketing, and over $7,000 on attorney fees to get the zoning issue on the ballot in August to get enough signatures. We also had a group affiliated with that send in a massive FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act. That was kind of a fishing expedition because it was very generic. Or is it dealt with any emails that had the word planning in it, certain things. It took up an enormous amount of staff's time. So Jade, Manager Smith, our new deputy clerk, Michelle Alberts, we had Jessica Stein, I think even our HR director. So there was a lot going on. And on top of that, they worked really efficiently and really hard to answer that FOIA request in a timely manner. So I really appreciate it. And I know that was in addition to reviewing all the signatures to make sure that those were counted appropriately. They were just really under fire. And I think it's important that residents know just how much time and energy was taken up on this effort and handled really well by staff. So thanks for that. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
It's a motion by Clerk Slater, supported by Trustee Shipley to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you for coming tonight. you.